Yo, 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 we back. Fresh episode of Talking Game. I'm your host, Anthony LT King, Yellow Tape King, Tony, whatever you call me, lets me know what I was on when you was fucking with me. And we are here with Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Fame Talking Game, Connor. What's up, homie?
What's up, Tony? Thanks for having me on again, dude. I appreciate such the gracious intro,
Yeah,
man.
for
Talking
sure.
game, dude. It's all over my feed every day. You guys are always talking about something new. Honestly, you guys break a lot of my news nowadays. I'm gonna be honest. Like on
Really?
TikTok too. Yeah, I swear. Your guys' reactions, depending on what we're talking about. Yeah, you guys break a lot of my news on TikTok.
Hey, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, man. But you are here to talk jazz, which is different. You know, we're always talking baseball, but we're also going to talk baseball on the second part of this. Um, but you have a first-hand perspective, a very close eye on the Utah Jazz. Tell the people what you've been doing for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, so I'm a radio broadcast assistant. It is amazing because my goal obviously is to be a broadcaster at the end of the day, be behind the mic. But right now I'm assisting the best at the highest level in the NBA, man. It's been so fun. So I got to shout out David Locke, our radio broadcaster, and Jamil Hawkins, the radio producer, for just giving me the opportunity to learn from these guys this year. It's been phenomenal. And getting to watch the Jazz firsthand, getting to watch this level of the NBA. I mean, I'm from LA, so getting a Laker ticket has been hard to come by for most of my life. So getting to
Oh
see
yeah,
so many games, getting to see so many other teams, it's been incredible. And I can't wait to take what I've been learning here and be able to implement it everywhere else I go and hopefully be back. You never know.
yeah. Man, look, you're pretty dope at everything you do. I'm sure you'll be back, even if it's
Thank you, man.
in a different capacity. I'm sure you'll be back, man. Well, that was kind of my first question. Like, how was your experience being covering the Jazz? Like, have you? Is it different watching it kind of work related opposed to like as a fan?
I try to keep a fan perspective because as the radio broadcasters and just as broadcasters in general, you got to remember that you are constantly talking to the fans. So you want to keep that perspective in mind always, and you don't want to get too businesslike with it. And it's been super fun. And as a guy who grew up as a Laker fan, it's been super fun to learn to love this team. And I mean, it's been quick, dude. I already got a Keontae George jersey. You can call me a bandwagon all you want, man. I know it's only been one season, but I will forever have an affinity for the Jazz because of what we've been doing here. And just to give a quick summary of kind of what I do on a day to day basis, it's kind of two things. Either during the game, I'm kind of shoulder to shoulder with the broadcasters, kind of handing them notes, different stats like, hey, this guy got a double double. Hey, this guy's close to a career high. Anything from something like that to, hey, he's the first guy to ever do this. So it's really fun to be able to just be a part of the broadcast, get to see how these broadcasters are using these random stats they give you and how they prepare on their own. So it's that, or we're behind the scenes cutting highlights, getting to go down to the locker rooms and get the sound, be in front of the players while they're getting interviewed, stuff like that. So it's been really fun and stuff I'm never gonna forget. And yeah, just incredible learning experience for sure. It's at such a young age. I'm really grateful that I got this opportunity.
Which stats are more fun, baseball stats or basketball stats?
Oh, you know what? Basketball stats because it's so much more high paced. If you're doing baseball stats, you could be waiting 6 innings for the one thing that the broadcaster might use. Because I was doing the same thing last year when I wasn't on the broadcast in minor league baseball. I would try and be, throwing tidbits and whatnot, like, hey, this pitcher, close to a double A career high, same type of stuff. But NBA, dude, it's constant. Like you were tracking the runs. It's like, hey, this team's, been on a 12-2 run in the last however many long minutes. Like that kind of stuff is really important to these guys. So honestly, the way it gears you up for that high paced energy, it's really fun.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all, man. Utah Jazz. So far this season is not over yet, technically. But what grade would you give the Utah Jazz overall for this season?
Kids would love my class, dude. I'm giving them an A plus, and they accelerated their timeline, their rebuild timeline. This is year 4 of Will Hardy. Next year will be year 5, and for the last 3 years, they've been getting a worse record each year. So I think next year, Will Hardy is finally going to get to play and coach to win with a team that he had a lot of time and help to form build. So I think it's going to be really fun to watch them next year. So that just because of that, this year the trade for Jaron Jackson Jr. like you got to give him an A plus because if they hadn't have gone out and done all that, then it would have been another year of rebuilding next year with whoever they tried to draft in this year's lottery. And at the end of the day, you also got to credit all this to Keontae George because if he doesn't take this year three blossom that we've been able to see, then none of this happens at the deadline.
You know what's crazy? I This is why you my dog. Because I agree. Totally agree. They executed the plan, man. And I always feel like, look, every year is not a title or bust year. Like sometimes the goal has to be let's improve. And you're right. They're in pretty good shape for next year. They're going to get a lottery pick, probably top five. You still have, like you said, Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, Ace Bailey. You have the young guys. You have marketing. You have Jaron Jackson. You have vets. You have a good mix. You got Nurkic. You have a good mix going into next year. And hey, man, one thing I've said about like OKC and what they proved last year, the young kids can win in the NBA. It used to be a thing where that wasn't possible almost. And hey, who knows what Utah can do? Like you said, they're actually going to coach to win. I'm assuming throughout the whole year. After this, it's gonna be interesting for sure. But yeah, I agree. I give them an A just because of the prediction I got for next year. Like predicting them to be better.
It's all looking forward to next year now. That's why this end of the season, the broadcast has felt a little bit different. You can tell at the beginning of the year, after a few years of this, it's kind of like, oh man, when are we finally going to lay on the gas? And now everybody in the building in the Delta Center, it's really good vibes because everybody knows that we're done with this rebuilding, tanking after a little bit of time,
A little bit, a
a
little
couple
bit.
more months.
Yeah, man. You kind of alluded to it. Who is your favorite player to watch from the Utah Jazz?
Shoot, I gave Keontae George a lot of love on the last question, dude, and I gotta do it now. I already got the jersey. One of my favorite things to watch in the NBA is, watching a guy work from the mid-range, and that's one level of Keontae George's game that he's been able to take to the next level this season for sure, has been able to just get buckets almost automatically off that pick and roll, just pulling up right with guys on the crab dribble right behind him, dude. It's that's some of the purest form of basketball, man, and, like, that's, how I used to play because I couldn't shoot the 3, and I didn't play long, but I loved getting buckets from the mid-range, dude. People hated when I would throw up a bank and I would yell Tim Duncan, bro. They wouldn't see it coming. But Keontae George, Ace Bailey's a close second when he's on, but next year I think it is really going to win. Where everybody's going to have fun watching him play.
Yeah, that's gonna be the interesting thing with the Jazz is like you guys. It's gonna be fighting for playing time.
Yeah, you don't know if Ace is going to start next year unless they move him to the two guard pretty much full time and run a big lineup with Lowry at the 3, which is pretty much already set. If you're going to run Walker Kessler and Jaron Jackson Jr. at the same time, so
Yeah,
whether or not you want to run a guy like Svi, more of a defensive 3 and D guy at the 2, or if you want to let Ace Bailey run in the starting lineup and probably get most of his minutes with the second unit.
and then who knows? You guys might draft AJ Batanza. So
Exactly.
he would probably start.
You never know. I mean, with that lineup, it'd be
Yeah,
tough.
that's true,
Then
right?
then you're choosing between Ace and AJ because it really comes down to that. So, no matter what the final 3-minute lineup, it's gonna change a lot during the first half of the season. Will Hardy's
Yeah,
gonna have I think it's gonna be fun, man, watching this team kind of figure it out at first. Maybe they don't win every game. There's probably gonna be a few ugly possessions towards the end that lose them a few games, but I think by the end of next season, if they're able to make the playoffs, which I think they totally should be their expectation. I
yeah,
think
for sure.
is to be in the playoff chase next year. I could see them winning a few series if they figure everything out in time.
I feel you on that, man. Um, what's one thing you would have done different this year if you were in charge of the Utah Jazz?
Hey man, I'm going back to my grade. I'm saying A plus. I don't think there's anything that I would
Yeah.
have changed. There's one thing that I will mention just to make my answer a little bit spicier, is that I really thought they were going to deal Nurkic at the deadline. He's on an expiring deal.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like what they were doing. He's playing some of the best basketball of his career. But they decided, he wants a nose job instead, and I think they're going to probably extend him because there was a quote we heard from him very early on in the first few months of the season. He's been a guy who's played for a handful of teams now in the past few years of his career, and he was, saying a lot of great, glowing things about Utah and this organization and wanting to come back. He was saying it just straight up. So I think saying that he's probably worked out a deal that, isn't on the table yet. And again, I work for the Jazz, but I'm not saying anything in a capacity that means anything. This is just me as a fan speaking,
Yeah,
uh,
no
you
doubt.
know, all like that. But I think Nurkic is going to get extended. I think he's going to be back with the Jazz. I think that's why he took the nose job.
Hmm.
But
And that's
I could have seen them shopping him around at the deadline. That would have been, like, the one thing I maybe would have changed because he probably would have gotten a decent return from a team that was competing.
yeah. But you can never have too many bigs. I mean, especially when you think about Triple J does have an injury history. Walker Kessler coming off an injury, so I'm sure he'll be on a minutes restriction to start the season. So it's somebody you want to keep around, and obviously he likes Utah, like you said. So somebody you're familiar with, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only thing me personally, looking is why not make a run of try and win games now, right? Like try and win, and I get it for draft purposes, but like I feel like the team is going to be good. I feel like the team. Look, we were just talking about even if you get somebody like AJ Batanza, he might not even start. So like is I know it would be a high level rotation player. You still talking about somebody who might just be a rotation player. Why not try and win games? Like why not try and build that continuity of winning now? That's
Hey, if we were the Miami Jazz, dude, I'd say let's do it. But we're in the Western Conference, man. I think it'd be pretty tough to gain the amount of ground that they need to gain to even make the play in.
yeah, true.
So I think going in the opposite direction is probably the smartest move. And honestly, I didn't think they'd really be able to tank low enough to theoretically be in the running for a top five pick. I really thought it was going to be more on the fringe range of losing it in the 5 to 8 range. But with the way that they've been playing as of late, and how the losses have been stacking up, yeah, it's looking like they might be more so in the running for the top five.
So that'll definitely be interesting. I think I know one of the answers, but all of the Jazz are free agents right now. You can only pick two. What two Jazz players? Well, you can pick more, but what are the first two Jazz players that you're signing?
Man, these are my favorite scenarios, Tony. I'm loving this question because it's like an expansion draft, where you can protect some players. But if you're limiting me just to two, it makes it really tough. Because I
Yeah.
got to say Keontae George is one, but then the second spot gets tricky. Because do I want to keep the guy we just traded for, who's going to be worth 50 million next year with Jaron Jackson Jr.? Keep Lowry Markkinen, who we've been developing the last 3 years, is playing the best basketball of his career with this team, or Ace Bailey, invest in the future, or can I take the lottery pick? Is that an option? Is that one something I can protect, or is
Ah,
it just going to
I
be a
didn't think
player?
about that, but yeah, you can have the lottery pick.
No, no, no. I'm not going to go with I'm going to go Keontae and Triple J. I think watching those two work next year is going to be pretty fun. I don't think it works without Lowry and a few other guys who can space the floor a little bit better too. But I think starting with those two, if say the rest of the team got washed and you had to start over, I like that core.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. You got some options,
A
A
lot of
healthy
options.
a healthy Walker Kessler is pretty good, you
Yeah,
know.
he's tough one for me because everybody. I think some people forget sometimes that he's a restricted free agent, man. So the Jazz are going to have to empty their pocketbooks to to get him back, and I think he's going to be worth a lot of money.
As a Lakers fan, I hope we offer him the max when he comes up.
Dude, somebody's going to do it. I
Yeah.
think the Jazz are going to have to match near a match max contract or whatever the max Kessler's able to make, because I know he didn't make an All Star or anything, so there's a limit. But
Yeah,
yeah, whatever his max is, dude, teams might be willing to pay it with what he was able to prove before a year long shoulder injury, which is
yeah, man.
crazy.
Shot blocking, rim running big, man. It's just you need those in the NBA.
With control too.
Exactly. All right. Want to have some fun. Time to talk about food. All right. What what's the best thing you eating during the game?
So luckily, as an employee, I do get access to the Toyota Club. But for the sake of this conversation, I mean, you really don't even ever have to pay the extra money to go down there. And you should, because it's a great experience. But if you can't, oh my gosh, there is probably a wider selection of food at this stadium than I've ever seen at any other stadium venue like this. I mean, they got everything from Chick-fil-A to Cup Bop, which is Korean barbecue, to they just put in a sushi place mid-season. It's going to be there permanently. I'm like, okay, they whipped that out of nowhere. That's lit. And they got Swig, the original dirty soda, dude. Like, I literally can't tell you one thing. They have Cubby's, which is a local restaurant they've infused in here. Ma's Pizza, which is kind of the same thing. Dude, they got a Greek place, Santorini's, that I know our hockey pregame show host loves. Shoot, dude, there's a smokehouse. You can. The first thing I ever got at the stadium was some brisket mac and cheese, barbecue brisket mac and cheese. Phenomenal. Had it for about a week straight before I got a little tired of it and moved on. But they also got like great dessert options. There's like 3 different ice cream places located in the stadium with multiple locations. It's insane, dude. Anywhere you walk, you can get something to eat. The only thing I can say, if you're visiting the Delta Center, take the full lap before you make your decision, because if you don't, you'll miss something and you'll regret it.
But what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing, dude, is something I didn't mention yet, and you're making me freaking answer. But honestly, doing that whole runaround kind of led me to the honey roasted nuts, dude. This is
What?
something. This is something I hadn't tried until a few years ago when I was in Milwaukee, and the Brewers have them right as when you walk in near home plate, and it's the greatest smell in the world. It's like, caramelized, sugary pecans, cashews, almonds, all that. And they do them here at the Jazz too, and they'll give you these huge things of, like, something you would see like popcorn in kind of Disneyland
Yeah,
type deal, where it's like a triangle. But bro, oh, those nuts, you clip me on this, man. It's probably gonna get a little weird, but
it's gonna get weird.
dude, I'll go back to those nuts every day, man. At the stadium, shoot, that's
Sugary
my
nuts.
answer.
Sugary nuts. Your favorite thing. That's great. That's great, man. I knew you were gonna be able to lead me to the right direction when it came to food, though.
That's
It's
the
like,
thing, man. There is no wrong direction in the Delta Center. That's why it's a circle.
ah, that's a bar. That's a bar right there. That's a bar. Oh man, you want to talk some baseball?
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, let's go, man.
Hold
All
on,
right,
wait, but right quick, I need to match your energy just because. Hold on.
let's go.
I don't get too many opportunities to rock this hat in Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
Just
man.
kidding, I do it anyways. But
I'm about to say it's not like you can rock the Salt Lake City team.
I haven't fixed the brim. You can tell I've obviously just got it yet. But it's such a clean hat. I love everything they did with the spring training this year, so I'm gonna wear it.
I ain't mad at that, man. They're the champs. You can wear it.
Let's go.
All right. What grade would you give the Dodgers this offseason?
I'll say it again, man. People would love being in my class because I'm doling out these A pluses right now. I think they got priority A, which was bolster the bullpen, find the guy who can pitch in the ninth inning, and they went and got the guy who's got the most notable walkout song you can find in the ninth,
That's gonna go crazy.
Edwin Diaz. Yeah, dude, in Chavez Ravine, oh my God, Edwin Diaz is gonna get that place bumping. It might fly off the hill, dude. And yeah, they bring back Evan Phillips, who nobody's talking about because he's dealing with coming off a year-long injury, but I can't wait to see what he looks like when he gets back on the mound. Had some of my favorite stuff before he had to deal with some shoulder and elbow stuff. And then, dude, like the cherry on top is Kyle Tucker. If you had asked me at the beginning of the offseason, I would have told you Dodgers are out on Kyle Tucker, man. They're not going to pursue a guy like that. They have the depth. They don't need to go sign a huge contract. Like they could do it, yeah, and they did because no one else like wanted to fish in the big pond, dude. I don't know what it was, but Kyle Tucker fell in the Dodgers' lap, and they weren't even going for him. So A plus, dude. They got a guy who's received MVP votes in 3 of the last 4 seasons. So A plus, final grade.
I when I heard the possibility of Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers, I just felt like that was going to happen. Like I feel like somebody said it on the broadcast during the World Series or something. I don't know where I heard it on TV just quickly. And I was like, this just feels like what the Dodgers are going to do. Like this is going to be the you think we're ruining baseball? Watch this. And they did so, but I can't be mad at them, man. Hey, if you have a problem, it's like I look at it like any business, right? If you're having an IT problem and the best IT guy is available, you're going to hire him. They had a closer problem. The best closer was available. It's not the Dodgers' fault that they was like, let's get the best closer available for the job, and I respect that now team players are just looking at how the Dodgers want to build a winner because Edwin Diaz could have got the same money in New York. They said they would wiggle with the contract, but when you build it, they will come, man. I'm not mad at it. As a Yankees fan, I can't hate on the Dodgers, man. Like,
Hey, as New York people in general, man, whether you're a Mets person or a Yankees person, I think this offseason everybody screwed up. Doesn't matter who you're rooting for. Everybody screwed up if the Dodgers got Kyle Tucker. That's what would have been my answer at the beginning of the offseason. And it happened, dude. I mean, the Mets, they even screwed up with Edwin Diaz, bro. They didn't let him know that they were going to go sign Devin Williams, and they still wanted him back. They were going to make Devin Williams an eighth inning guy if Edwin wanted to come back, but instead they let him walk. I don't know what it is, man. But Stevie Cohen, he's got the money, but I
clearly,
don't think he's using it right.
yeah, he clearly got the money. Hey, you know what? I always pray that the Mets have just like amazing season, break the wins record, win 120 games. Hell, you know, all just to lose in the ALDS. That just makes my day. That's my ideal season for the Mets. I want them to ride that roller coaster all the way to the top. So the drop would just be amazing. Um, this year for the Dodgers going into the season, what do you think would be the strength of the team?
I think it's going to be the starting pitching. I think you could say the lineup, but I feel like that's the easy way out. They're going to be consistent as long as those guys are on the field, but I think I'm going to bet on the starting pitching this season. I think with the depth, a sixth man rotation is a legit consideration for a lot of teams. It's kind of just a speculation thing in the offseason that, hey, if everything works out for the Dodgers, it's almost seeming like within the first month of the season, it's going to have to be. It's like, do we want to do this now, or do we want to bump Sheehan back to the bullpen, or do we want to make a trade like early? I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be the starting pitching. I think we've got enough depth to let Roki figure his stuff out because just like me a few seconds ago, he hasn't been able to spit it out like he has in the past. So hopefully, I mean, like he just pitched today as we're recording this, and it didn't go too great. So
Really?
no, his spring training so far. He's had a couple of outings, and he's still working out the kinks. But I hope that with the rest of the guys we've got on this staff right now, they'll allow him to figure it out at the big league level because he was in AAA last season. They were I was listening to this story on the broadcast when he was in Oklahoma City last season. They sent him down, and he was just kind of in the hotel room alone, not really sure what needed to change. Everybody's looking at all this tape from him in Japan. It's like maybe we need to go back to this. And they said what kind of fixed him enough for last season to be an impactful player in the postseason was that he started watching film of himself when he was like 17, 16. He's like,
Hmm.
guys, I think this might be the answer right here. And apparently it worked. So hopefully there's another revelation on the way for him because he's just got too good of stuff to not be an impact player for this team this year.
Hey man, give him his own YouTube channel. Just roll his highlights. Remember who you are. Show
Seriously,
him who you are.
we need more Roki edits.
There we go. Hey, now you're about to be busy. You about to have a lot going on. I was about to say that could be your calling right there. Just
I
you,
get throwing out there. I can get the train started.
you can single handedly bring the Dodgers a championship just by doing that. Uh,
Changing his chemistry.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, for sure. Um, who do you think would be the breakout star for the Dodgers this year? Somebody people not thinking about talking about.
I think, I mean, maybe if you're not a Dodgers fan, you haven't been hearing his name as much. But coming out of spring training, dude, there's been a lot of buzz about Hai Sung Kim. He's about to go play in the WBC. In fact, I do believe he's already taken the trip. He's with the team now, not in Dodgers spring training anymore. But they kind of opened it up for him to get the majority of the reps at second base, especially against right-handed pitching. Last year, seemed like he was really just a defensive replacement or a pinch runner late in the game. And you'll hear Dave Roberts rave about what he can do with the glove. And they're just, I think, waiting for a little bit more consistency. I think there might have been a little bit of a battle for him to stay instead of going to the WBC because they want him to stay in camp longer. But as a guy who's also played the game at the college level, dude, I think that kind of competition is only going to elevate your game going into this season. When you can see that level of competition and get your gears going like that right before, you got to stretch it out for a 162. I think that makes you even hungrier, on especially a team like the Dodgers, to reach the highest of heights again. So Hai Song Kim, he's my guy. Expecting big things out of him from the four hole.
Yeah, I agree. I think in like all sports, playing for your country and playing with the best of the best on any, at that level, it always helps. You always see it, especially in basketball, you see it. I think that's why I'm happy that so many Yankees are doing it. I'm glad Jazz Chisholm's out there. I'm glad Austin Wells out there. Don't know how Austin Wells on the Dominican Republic team, but that's another conversation for another day.
They saw his
But
breakfast burrito reviews, man. They were
yeah,
like, "Hey, this guy knows what's up. He's on the
fact.
team."
Yeah, hey, bring them on. But yeah, man. And look, practice is cool, but nothing like the game, right? Your adrenaline's pumping different. You're moving at a different pace. You're getting used to the game reps. So you can try and simulate them as much as possible, but nothing like playing the game. So if the Dodgers needed a breakout star, right? I mean, they don't need anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of guys you can really say need to break out in the 1 through 9. I mean,
Yeah,
you could say, I was thinking about Emmett Sheehan. I think a full healthy year of him will probably land him in the starting rotation through the full season, just with other injuries that'll pop up. And he's going to get the chance to really show whether or not he's going to be a front of the line rotation guy and really cause some more trouble in who's going to be 1 through 5 and if we need a six, or if he's going to be another one of these Tony Gonsolins who's kind of just going to fade off onto another team. Ross Striplings. We've had a lot of them, bro, that have just come up, have been really good for us, and have kind of just, gone to other teams, still had good careers. But, you know, guys who had a lot more hype coming up than they were able to get to at, different points of their career.
it's hard to live up to it, man.
Walker Bueller's one of those guys now, man. And
Oh
I
my
mean,
god,
he's a postseason hero, and
yo, he's terrible.
he hasn't been able to figure it out since dealing with some pretty bad injuries, man. But I mean, he will forever be a Dodger legend to me for sure
Also
in those
terrible,
postseason
Connor.
runs.
While you're here, let's talk about it. Hey, Flaherty's been boo boo since the World Series.
Hey, man, when you give your all in the postseason, sometimes it hurts guys. Steven Strasburg, great example of that, man. You got to give your all for the team if you want to reach the highest level. You're one guy on a 28-man roster trying to win 162 you know, and some change in October.
Yeah,
Sometimes you push your body a little bit farther than you probably should, and it impacts you in the long haul. Flaherty, he was already dealing with some injuries on the Dodgers. It felt like he was taking his game to another level just being in the postseason. We weren't really, I don't think people were expecting what we got from him.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the big reasons why, people loved it so much. Obviously a hometown guy, but exceeding expectations is a big thing in October, and he was able to do that.
True that. True that. Got the same question I had for you about the Jazz. Who's your favorite Dodger to watch play?
I'm gonna go with Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
What?
I'm a former pitcher. Shohei's the obvious answer, dude, because anytime he gets in the box, it's like I feel like he's gonna hit a home run. There's nobody else in the league that I feel like that about. Maybe like old Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. I used to maybe have that same feeling, but Shohei, it's almost automatic,
Not
especially
Judge.
out of the leadoff spot. But I want to talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto because the level of control that he displays on a night to night basis, pitching every 5 days. Last year, we saw him really put together a healthy season and postseason. And dude, it's just there's not too much energy. I do love watching those guys, don't get me wrong, but he's just so level-headed. It's like he knows like if he doesn't make it into the 7th, 8th, ninth, it's a disappointment for him. And that's so fun to watch as a fan, knowing that guy has that tenacity and that ability to do that whenever he wants. It's incredible. And the postseason run was, the cherry on top, like I said earlier with the Jazz.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about this. I'll just skip it and put it up there. I think he can give Skeens or anybody because that's the cool thing about pitching. Somebody will just come out of nowhere and have an incredible year. Yamamoto got to be in the conversation for Cy Young. Like, yeah, I can just see him figuring it all out and this being the year that it all comes together for him. And not for nothing, playing for the Dodgers, you're gonna get the run support to get the wins, right? Like you're not gonna have a Paul Skeens situation where you're struggling to get the 10 wins. So this can be a great year for him. You former pitcher, future Cy Young voter. Um, who you got winning the Cy Young this year?
You alluded to it just now, man, and this was my answer from the start. Yoshi, I'm going for it. This year is his year. Skeens, you see all the memes, man, he regressed last year. His ERA was .01 higher. So, he's going to keep going up. That's the trajectory he's on. So, maybe that's me being delusional. But Yoshi, man, I'm voting for him, rooting for a big season as the head of that snake of the rotation. So, I think he's going for it on the NL. For the AL, I think Scooble's got a great shot, man, but I'd love to see another Southpaw win it with Garrett Crochet. I think the Red Sox can do some damage still in the AL East, but they're going to need a really strong year out of the rotation. And Garrett Crochet is your opening day guy. I think I mean, dude, he's had the stuff for so long. If you get a full healthy season out of him, same thing. I don't care about the wins necessarily. I like what he can put together over a full season and win a Cy Young in the AL.
Yeah, I just can't say nothing good about a Red Sox player, man.
I was thinking about Max Fried, but nobody wins Cy Youngs in Yankee Stadium, bro. Just
Max
doesn't
Fried,
happen.
yeah, and I don't know. Max Fried is going to have 3 to 4 starts where it's like, who is this? Like I mean, when you look at the totality of the season, it's going to be a great season. 15 to 17, 18 wins, 3 or lower ERA. But he's going to have 3 to 4 starts in the middle of the season. You'd be like, what? Who is this guy? Like, what have you done with Max Fried? And that's always what's going to keep him getting votes, but not winning.
Another random name that just popped into my head. I don't know how healthy he's been looking in spring training or what his plan is, but fairly certain Jacob DeGrom's coming into the season healthy. So hey, little dark horse in the AL. You never know what that guy can do with a full season on the mound.
Yeah. Nathan Evaldi coming back. Somebody else. The Rangers gonna be sneaky good. As long as they can have the pitching healthy, they'll be good. MVP. Will Shohei be
MVP,
dethroned in the NL?
no shot. No shot, dude. I mean, he's pitching this year, bro. He won it. He won it, but he didn't pitch, and he's pitching this year. I'm still on board that I think it's kind of a fluky. Maybe there doesn't need to be an asterisk next to the Aaron Judge MVP, man. But I, you said I'm a future voter. Maybe you're not going to like my vote on that pick because I would have gone Otani that year too. So I think Otani wins it, man. If he puts together a full season of hitting and even a half a season of pitching, I think it's an automatic lock for me. There's no other pick. And then for the AL, I think Bobby Witt gets it, man. He said he was disappointed in what he was throwing out last season in terms of numbers, dude. So I'm excited to watch the Royals also kind of get out of the rebuilding phase and just kind of, they need other guys to step up besides him because he's already proven he can be an all-star caliber player, MVP type guy. I like him this year for the award.
I'm not mad at Bobby Witt. Yeah. Yeah, I can see this being a bounce back year. WBC probably help him, like we were talking about. It's already getting those game reps, already gonna be ready to go. Definitely not a fan of what your vote would have been, but that's why you're a future voter, you know. So hey, it's cool. It's cool.
But I you can make me eat my words by saying I would have voted for Cal Raleigh. So
Um,
then
I'm not gonna say that. I
so
care
so
about I care about batting average. I'm sorry. I
hey,
I,
no,
I do care about batting average. I know.
it's just the thing of the milestone versus the entire season of what you're doing, which obviously you got to have a good entire season for to be in the MVP conversation. But the fact that I wanted to lean Cal Raleigh just because of him being a catcher and this being something we haven't seen in so long, wanting to commemorate it, I can understand why the Yankees being so historic and that record being so historic that Aaron Judge broke that you kind of just had to chalk it up that year, especially when you consider Shohei's got a few more now.
Yeah, he's going on a Barry Bonds kind of run right now. So
Sheesh.
he'll he'll be okay. And like you say, with him pitching, it's almost unfair. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not a woe is me guy, but it is almost unfair. Like he can get 200 strikeouts and 50, and he can steal 50 bags, right? Hit 40 home runs all in the same season. Like that is wow. He's playing MLB to show in real life.
They had to change the game for him, dude. You weren't
They
allowed to be a
did.
two-way player before he came along.
Come on, man. You're changing our gaming. What is going on? Um, One more question. I get you out of here. World Series, end of October, early November. What's the two teams we got playing?
I got Dodgers, Mariners, Dodgers in 6.
Y'all really gonna ruin baseball?
Hey, everybody said, you know, anybody ever talk about how the Yankees ruined baseball back in the day?
We did not ruin baseball back in the day. Okay, we were getting guys that were on the back end of their primes. They only had two, maybe three good years left. You guys just got Kyle Tucker. He's what, 28?
Hey, man, go check the stats on how many World Series championships the Yankees have won once free agency was implemented. Just saying.
Come on, man. Let's,
Once the draft, excuse me, was implemented, not free agency, because the Yankees bought everything before the draft was implemented.
that's why I don't hate on y'all.
I mean, dude, we're gonna look back on it in 20 years and say, man, the Dodgers really pushed. Like, who knows? In 5+ years, we could be getting rid. Like, maybe there is a salary cap, maybe there isn't. But you're gonna say the Dodgers probably did something to help baseball at the end of the day, push other teams to try and be like them. I'd hope, because if everybody was like the Dodgers, we'd have a pretty fun league.
Is a salary cap possible with the contracts that are still out there?
I don't think the players will let it happen. I think they'll go to a lockout before they let a true salary cap be implemented. Unless the players really hate the Dodgers that much, which I don't think they do. Players love the Dodgers.
They
In
do.
fact, everybody says that, even if they're not on the team.
Yeah, I have not.
Unless your name is Carlos Correa, pretty much everybody's only ever talked good about the Dodgers as a player.
Yo, you even got Manny Machado saying I fucking love it.
Yeah, dude. And like the fans didn't even necessarily like him at the end of the day, which is nuts. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
man, I like any team that goes for it. I feel like all franchises in all sports owe that to their fans.
Yeah.
That's the
And
that's the
I think the
that's the
Mariners are doing that right now. That's why they were my second pick,
yeah. Well, on the
runners
pitch
up.
clock, I got the Mariners as runner up too. So there we go. Different. Can I change my pick? Can you go back and edit pitch clock? Because Jackson Profar decides to do dope.
Oh yeah, what is up with that, man? The Braves, dude, just getting another shot to the foot.
It's like, yo,
Makes no
yeah,
sense.
I didn't expect that. Thought he would
He
have
must
learned
have
it.
been he must have been training in San Diego this offseason, man, something like that.
I can see that. I can see that.
Back in the DR with Fernando. Anyways.
Cutting up. All right, man. We're gonna wrap this up. Connor, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. I'm just about everywhere. Personal stuff is at Connor Broadcasts, CONNOR Broadcasts. And then, yeah, the new show, man. Tony's episode's coming out soon. It's called The Pitch Clock Baseball Debate at Game Speed. There's a 15-second clock on every single question. And there's balk challenges, too. Tony had a pretty good time with those. Might have been some of our best performances we've had yet, too. So check those out at The Pitch Clock, pretty much anywhere you can find us, man. So that's all. That's it. Thank you, Tony, dude. This has been fun.
Yeah, this has been fun. And you're on Twitter too, right?
I'm actually not a huge Twitter guy. I don't be posting. I'm on there. I think it's like way different than all my other tags. So no need to look up the
You don't
Twitter.
need to look it up. But if you're on Twitter watching, if you're on Twitch watching, go follow all of Connor's socials and watch Pitch Clock because that is pretty good. Fast paced. I love it.
Appreciate it.
And for me, y'all know what I always say, what everybody who makes content says. Like, subscribe, share. If you know somebody who likes sports, send this to them because I'm sure they're gonna like it. And then tomorrow we're live with just a normal episode, me and Jay running talking game, 3:30. And then Thursday, another episode with my boy Deuce and Elijah Fluellen, Mr. Tampa Bay Rays. We're gonna be talking about the Rays, going over them. And more baseball, getting ready for opening day, man. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Peace.